you're new here, my name is Ariane. I am 28 years old. I am married and I like to share on my social media about my weight loss journey and trying to conceive and all of the things. But I feel like we've never really dug deep into that. So we are going to talk about trying to conceive. I've shared videos here and there, but I don't think I've ever really sat down and talked about it in depth, in detail, because it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable to share this, but I do want to share because I know that there are other people that are going through similar or just people that can relate and see themselves in what I'm saying and know that they're not alone, and people that can also come alongside me and be a support as well. Our trying to conceive journey started shortly after our wedding. So we eloped in 2024 and then we had our wedding in 2025, and we started on our trying to conceive journey in February. After our cruise and everything, we decided that we did not want to wait any longer, with a little pressure from me because I've wanted to be a mom for as long as I can remember. And yeah, I was just excited to do that with the person that I love. And I just felt like it was a good time for us to start trying. So it has been a journey. Those couple of months that we were actively trying was emotional. I began to really have a heart for those people who have to try to conceive for years, because just those couple of months took so much out of me. And I found myself often in tears, wondering what was wrong with my body, because I felt like I was doing all of the right things and there was no evident answer as to what was going on. Seeing other people's pregnancy announcements, though I was genuinely happy for them, I was honestly, and if you are on a trying to conceive journey, you understand what I'm saying, but honestly, I was sad and confused for myself and just wanted to get to the bottom of what wasn't working. That being said, I went to my first OB. At the beginning, I did feel understood and heard. That was my first time ever going to an OB. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I felt like I was heard. I felt like I was understood. And after a couple more months of trying, I went back to that doctor. My cycle was probably 40 something days at that point. I kept getting a negative test after negative test, and I was like, it just doesn't make sense. With all of that in mind, I went to the doctor, found out that I was not pregnant, and he quickly diagnosed me with PCOS and sent me home with some medication. Fast forward several months, I did not feel right on the medication. It messed with my hormones a lot, and I just felt like I needed a second opinion when it came to PCOS because I did not feel like I had it. So I went to a different OB, and I loved the fact that when I went to go see her, since it wasn't necessarily a medical appointment or anything like that, this was my first appointment, more of a evaluation, more of a check, and to start a baseline for where I was at, hear my concerns and all of those things. She took me into her office and I sat on a couch. She sat at her desk and she talked to me heart to heart. Her professional opinion was that I did not have PCOS. I immediately stopped those medications, and she did some labs and blood work to see a baseline for where I was starting from. Everything came back completely normal. At that point, I was at the highest weight that I had ever been. She said that is probably why your cycle is irregular. And she suggested, she didn't just throw anything at me, she suggested that I take a break from trying to conceive and actually lose weight. Since June of 2024, I have been focusing on my weight loss journey. This has been a very rewarding time for me personally, because it is preparing me for motherhood. It is preparing me for discipline, for dedication, for all of these things. Becoming a mother will require different parts of me that I have never had to exercise before. So I definitely feel like this is God's way of preparing me for that moment in time, preparing me for that journey. Though it was hard for us to pause our trying to conceive journey, me and my husband made that decision that that would be the best thing for us to do, so that we could have a healthier starting place when we get back into trying to conceive. I'm essentially losing weight to have a baby. So I am way more motivated than I ever have been, but I have a different dedication and conviction now than I ever have. And I appreciate that. We are just growing and learning and becoming parents before pregnancy even exists. And I think that is a very, very powerful place to be, and in strengthening us as a couple during this waiting season, which I really appreciate, because I know that trying to conceive can be very taxing, and it's just really nice to not have to do it alone and to have a partner that may not completely fully understand, because he will never experience pregnancy or any of that side of it, but he is sympathetic enough to listen to me, to be a support, and to always ask, is there anything else that I can do for you? But on my trying to conceive and weight loss journey, things that I have really been working on, I'm still taking my prenatal. So if you have any recommendations on what supplement that you're taking and why, please let me know in the comments. I would highly, highly, highly appreciate that, because that is something that I'm going to be researching here soon, because I probably have like 10 or so days left of my prenatal, and I just want to make sure that I'm doing what is best for my body. I have been focusing more on my diets, and I have also been improving on my movement. I have just started my second step challenge, and I love it because you have to get a certain amount of steps a day. So it challenges me to have discipline in a different area of my life. Have been really protecting my peace and managing stress. So if there's something in my life that can kind of either take a back seat or be adjusted so that I feel more at peace and it feels more attainable, then that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Like, for example, my social media career. You know, I love social media. I love putting out content. I love connecting. I love all of it. But if it gets to a point where I feel pressured that I need to post 6, 7 times a day, or, you know, all of those type of things, then that is something that I need to take a step back and reevaluate. What is going to be realistic for me? Maybe it's posting once a day. Maybe it's posting 3 to 4 times a week, and just realizing that there are ebbs and flows, and that there may be seasons where I can post every day and multiple times a day. And there may be seasons where 5 times a week is just going to have to be okay. And the other thing I love about this waiting season right now is that I'm preparing myself for motherhood. So something that I really want in motherhood is slow mornings, whatever that's gonna look like, because I know you can't plan everything perfectly to the T, but I've been loving slow mornings right now in my life. I like to get up several hours before I have to leave for the office, and I love getting on the walking pad and checking emails, getting some work done, and then going and making my breakfast shake, just having intentional time to pray, having intentional time to read my book, read my Bible. I'm actually reading Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Myers right now, and it has been such a blessing in my life. So if you need a book recommendation, you are welcome. That is a book that I truly believe everybody should read. Your thoughts control your actions, and your actions control your life. So if you want a better life, you have to start here. So I'm so grateful that I am reading that book, and that I have time in my mornings to sit there, dissect the word, see what I'm reading, and understand how I can make those changes in my life. And that's something that I want to carry into motherhood. So that may look something like waking up even 30 minutes or an hour before my baby and just praying and getting caffeine in. That may be the only thing that I'm able to do, but just making that habit and that intention of pouring into me first before the world or people or family, even your baby, before anyone else needs you, making sure that you've had time to pour into yourself first is something that I definitely want to prioritize in my life. So I'm starting now. I don't want to wait until I am a mom to start creating these habits, to start learning how to be a mother. I am essentially mothering myself right now. That's what it is. I'm learning how to mother Ariane, seeing what she likes, seeing what she needs, and doing those things before I am able to give parts of me to a little human. And the biggest thing is that this waiting season has definitely anchored my faith. It has given me just trust and peace and surrender in God in a whole new precious way. I feel like I have never in my life needed to rely on God in a season like I have now, because it is absolutely completely out of my control. And as a human, that feels scary. We want to control things, we want to know what's next, but all I know is that it is in his hands, it's in his timing, and all I can do is surrender control. Faith is action. Still move. However, you're moving without knowing what's going to come next. I don't know when we're going to get pregnant. I don't know when we're going to have a baby. I don't know if there is loss that is going to come before our first child. I don't know any of it, but I do know that he is in control. And my prayer is and continues to be, just hold me close during this season and keep my heart soft. I don't want to become depressed. I don't want to become angry. I don't want to become impatient and not understanding. I want to just continue to be his precious daughter. So if you are on your trying to conceive journey, that is also my prayer for you. And just know that this is a safe place here, and that you can talk to me, you can express your frustration, you can express that you're scared, you're angry, you're upset, because it is normal to have those feelings. But just remember to just stay at the feet of Jesus, because we need him all the time. I don't know exactly what the season is going to look like. I don't know when, I don't know how. I do know that I want to share, and just a disclaimer, I'm not looking for fertility advice or anything like that. I just want to share these tender, sweet moments to look back on and see how far that I've come. Also, just to build a safe space for someone who may be going through the same thing. So I don't know exactly what this future holds, but I do know that God is shaping me in season and in these moments. And for now, I'm just learning to surrender to his plan and his timing. And I do trust that when the blessing comes, that we will be ready. So thank you for listening to me. I hope that you got something out of this, or you just simply felt more connected with me during this season of my life. I will be doing more videos like this, so stay tuned. Stay tuned on my other socials as well, because I will be just sharing more intentionally. That is just what feels right in this season.